I'm Rhonda Walton. I'm a pediatrician over at the clinic. Everybody calls me Dr. Rhonda, so as not to get me confused with the other Dr. Walton that some of you know, that would not be good. So I'm going to tell you just a little bit about the pediatric end of this, and then Preston can fill in the other stuff. One thing that OFS does that I think is really important is anyone that's involved needs to have a medical home for their children. We can't at the clinic be the medical home for kids that are on Medicaid, but we can certainly be the safety net for those that aren't on Medicaid or CHIPS. And then the ones that are having a hard time getting connected somewhere else, we can work through the clinic and our social worker there to make sure that they get connected to a medical home. What we've also found is that even if they have a medical home elsewhere, there are some gaps sometimes that we can fill. And so that's what we've been doing. Usually those with children, and I'm always looking at things from a pediatric perspective, with children it usually falls into that kind of big category of ADD or school failures, school problems, behavioral issues, mental health type issues. Those are things that may not be really addressed in a different kind of Medicaid clinic because of reimbursement issues and things like that. So Marva and Janet and Sylvia and Danielle have been just awesome about identifying kids that need to have some special emphasis in that area because they're tremendously tuned into these kids. They know what's going on, they watch them work, and they pick up on little things, and they know what's going on with their families. So they've been referring those moms to me to have some one-on-one consultation or home visits, and then work with them, bring them into the clinic if they need ADD management or behavioral issues or discipline issues addressed, which happens to be one of my most favorite topics to deal with in the office anyway. So that's something we've been doing with a little group of the moms there that have kids that are specifically struggling in school. The Ladies Oxygen Lunch, we're calling it the Ladies Oxygen Lunch. I'm really excited about this. It's a parenting class / women's support group, but we're hoping that it turns into something not didactic at all, not a classroom situation at all. We're calling it that because quite often I tell moms that the best parenting advice overall that you're ever going to get, you can actually get from the flight attendant if you ever get to fly on an airplane. Because you know how when you're flying on an airplane and you have a child with you and something bad happens and they say, okay, if something bad happens and that oxygen mask drops down, so what are you supposed to do? Put it on yourself first. So that's where that name comes from, is moms got to take care of themselves. They sometimes need to just have some community. We're hoping that we have not just Roseland moms, but future moms and past moms that can share wisdom so that we can address specific parenting issues or relationship issues or bullying issues or health issues. But it can be a time where we can all learn from each other. So our kickoff lunch is tomorrow, and I'm really, really excited about that. Let's see, what else was I going to mention on medical stuff? I think that's about it. One thing I do want to mention is I know over at the clinic, having kids with behavioral issues and ADD and seeing those families and those kids is something new that the clinic, for the clinic staff, and they have done just beautifully with that. They are just really, really Oh, and the other thing I would mention too, from an empowerment issue, we're targeting health issues. Last month we did a parent academy on nutrition things. I had a great time. This month we're doing a parent academy on diabetes prevention. Then next month we'll do another parent academy on respiratory type illnesses, passive smoke, kids. In pediatrics we say 'tis the season to be wheezing, which is not necessarily, that's not as good. Anyway, that's not a good thing. So, in the Parent Academy, the way that we're approaching this, basically, from the whole pediatric end, is that as moms, we want the best for our kids, and there's a whole lot of stuff out there that you can't control that comes into your kids' lives and affects their futures. But there are also things that we can do now that you can control that can really impact your children's lives with just some education and some encouragement and knowledge about nutrition, knowledge about diabetes, knowledge about psychosocial issues. We are empowered as moms and dads to make a big impact on our kids' lives.
Additionally, there's also parent-child counseling at the clinic by Bishop Ackerman and myself for those families that are going through conflicts. We have planned also for the Parent Academy's legal clinics that Ken Kuntz and his team will be leading up. We'll be having financial literacy clinics, helping persons to better budget or manage their resources, and at the same time look at home ownership. Stress management training is ongoing, as well as the healthy lifestyle training.